Yay, the Jeep project is now done. The videos are slowly getting released. So it's time for the cheapest STI in Canada. Step one, I gotta pull the engine out. I gotta fix all the oil leaks. Then I'm gonna fix the power steering line that's leaking. Then brakes and all the other fun stuff. But yeah, I guess I'll set up the camera and we'll get this motor out. And I got covered in fuel. Alright, the engine is out. Now I can get a good look at all of its oil leaks. So basically, the engine itself is fine. It's just easier to fix all the oil leaks with the engine out of the car. And getting the engine out of the car from start to finish took about 3 hours of me working at my personal speed, which is not very fast. So for the 3 hours, it's definitely worth saving the headaches of trying to do the valve cover gaskets and everything with the engine in the car. And also, I needed to rebuild the turbo. So that's another thing that's kind of a pain in the ass to do. To get the turbo out while it's in the car. Well, getting it out's okay. Getting it in is difficult because of the oil drain. I wanted to check to see if the rear main seal was leaking, just because underneath the car there was tons of oil. Thankfully, that is dry, so that'll save me some time from having to pull the clutch and flywheel off and do anything. And the other reason why I wanted to pull it out was I have to replace these power steering lines, these two bottom ones, and when you have a turbo, an engine, everything here, you don't have a lot of room to get to these. So it was just 3 hours of relatively easy work, and that'll save you a lot of frustration, and you can get a better look at the engine too. Sorry the battery died on the GoPro, but got her charged up, and while that was charging, I cleaned up all the mess that was around here. Well, not all of it, but most of it. It's coming from this guy, the oil pressure sensor or pressure switch. Also vacuumed out all the leaves. And then I moved on to the valve cover gasket. Got the valve cover off, got this all cleaned up, ready for a new one to go on. And here is why it was leaking. You could see around there. That one is ripped. This one, yeah, this one is too, same place. And then this guy right here was the worst of all. So we're going to put on a new set of valve cover gaskets. And of course, while the engine's out, we're going to replace the spark plugs. I got those on order. They'll be here tomorrow. I just got this side off, and I thought I'd show you just how bad it was. Now this side, it was pretty much pouring oil out. And you can see all over the place, the gasket is destroyed. On the light there. Like this bottom corner. And then here by the ignition coil. I've never seen them get this bad. I don't know if someone took these off, reused the gasket, and put it back on, but yeah, that is definitely my massive oil leak. Well, I'm bored and decided to stay late at work and carry on working. Got the turbo off of the motor. Now I'm going to take it all apart and replace the cartridge. So this is why we're replacing it. You can see all that play. So normally a little bit of up and down or left and right play is okay, but any forward and backward play is not good. So while we have the engine out, may as well just put a fresh cartridge in the turbo, and she'll be good as new. Oh yeah. The next step, after you get the V-band clamp out of there, you got to separate the turbo cartridge from the hot side of the turbo. If you live anywhere similar to Ontario, that's not just going to come out. Easiest way to do it is with an air hammer. So I'll set the camera up. just that easy. Time for reassembly. Basically, there's not much to it. One of the best pieces of advice, make sure you have everything cleaned. So I wire wheeled all inside here, wire wheel on a drill, just to clean up any rust so that the new cartridge fits inside, doesn't bind up. And one thing to be careful with, there's a pin here and there's a hole here. You have to line those up or else it's not going to fit. Just like that. Next thing, on the cold side of the turbo, this piece, it's sealed with some sort of like sealer. So clean all that up really good. Clean the inside of it, get any old oil out of there. Then you're going to put the tiniest little bead of that all the way around here, so that'll seal against this and you're not going to have a boost leak. Alright, so I got a little bit of that sealant on there. And what's important now is that you clock the turbo correctly. You put it something like this or something like this, your intercooler's not going to fit. So make sure you got her right. And that's it. Yeah, after that you can put on your drain tube, your oil fill thing, and the coolant pipes. But that's about it. Not too hard to replace the turbo cartridge. The biggest issue is getting the old cartridge out of the housing. Easiest way to do that is with an air hammer. I'm sure you guys can get creative and find another way to do it, but I like to do things the easy way. Okay, so last night I was here till like 10:30 or something, so I don't remember kind of where I stopped filming and just started working. But yeah, I got the power steering lines replaced. You can see they're the lower ones there that go around to behind the rack. You can kind of see one clear fitting way in the back there. But yeah, got those replaced last night. Got the turbo mounted. Oh, so fresh. And yeah, the engine is ready to go in as soon as I pick up some spark plugs and new oil pressure switch. That's at 2 o'clock. But until then, I'm going to start on the brake job. I got some premium quality rotors and pads. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but they were cheap. Yeah, so let's zip the wheels off and see what condition the calipers are in. Okay, you can see how corroded that wheel was to the hub, so I had to hammer it off. But yeah, let's pull the caliper off, get these old rotors off, service the calipers, and throw some fresh parts at it. Okay, so the issue now is the rotor is completely seized to the hub. I'm going to take a few swings at it with a hammer. Hopefully I'll knock it off. Oh, one hit wonder.
I heard the flame. Yeah.
And there it is, one beautiful rotor. So I'm going to clean up the surface a little bit, get the new rotors on, push the pistons back in the calipers, throw some new pads on it, clean up any corrosion, and yeah, let's see what it looks like when we're done. Got a little carried away and finished all the brakes. I didn't get to bleed them because I need somebody else here and it's 7 p.m. Jesse's already gone inside for the night. So that will still have to be done, but at least calipers are serviced, new pads are on, new rotors are on, all the hard parts done. As for the engine, I put the new plugs in, just some NGK laser iridiums, and the engine is ready to go in. And just like that, the engine is back in the car because I forgot to film anything. Haven't fired it up yet. Put some power steering fluid in it for the first time since I've owned it, so I'm excited to see what the pump's going to sound like. I got a bit of engine oil in there. Don't have coolant in there yet because I got to go to buy some, and we're in another lockdown, so I can't just go to the store and buy coolant. I have to order it, and it's a pain in the ass. But I want to see if she starts. So I'm going to set up the camera here. Go cycle the key on and off a few times, prime it for fuel pressure, and see what she does. Alright, so I didn't want to let it idle too long again because there's no coolant, but did suck a lot of the power steering fluid down. Top that up again, and I think I'm going to call it a night. Tomorrow I'll be back, get fluids in it, get the exhaust put on, wheels put on, and she should be ready for a test drive.